Welcome everyone to a Polygon tutorial video. Today we are going to be going over the new Polygon bridge for Gnosis Safe. Subscribe so you never miss out on more of these types of videos, and let's dive in. So before we get into the bridge itself, let's quickly talk about what Safe, previously known as Gnosis Safe, is. And for the sake of this video, I think it will be easier to continue to call it Gnosis Safe to avoid any confusion. So Gnosis Safe is a multi-sig wallet, and what a multi-sig wallet allows you to do is basically have a shared wallet with multiple other addresses where you can store assets. This can be very useful for something like DAOs and their treasuries. And essentially how it works, in order to complete a transaction, you will need multiple addresses to sign off on it. And we will go a little deeper into that in this video, but for a quick example, let's say I wanted to send 1 ETH to my friend Joe. Well, I can go ahead and initiate that request, but then I also need 3 out of 5 multi-sig owners to sign off for this transaction to actually go through. And the amount there is completely customizable. You can do 2 of 5, 4 of 5, 2 out of 3, whatever fits your needs. So you can probably start to see why Gnosis Safe can be very useful. But now that we have a high level understanding of what Safe is, how does Polygon come into play, and how does the Polygon bridge for Gnosis Safe make this a better experience? Well, one of the biggest issues with Gnosis Safe is that if your assets are stored on layer 1 Ethereum and you are consistently executing a high amount of transactions, gas fees can quickly add up, especially during times of high activity on Ethereum. So what the Polygon bridge for Gnosis Safe was built for was to save users money by instead transacting with Polygon's low-cost fees, all while maintaining that high level of security, which is of course very, very important. So let's jump into the Polygon bridge for Gnosis Safe platform. The first thing you're going to do is sign in with your wallet. Now I'm going to pretty much assume that you already have a Gnosis Safe wallet created. If not, this page will ask you to create a new one, and the process is pretty simple. It will bring you to a multi-step process that looks like this. Up at the top, you can choose which chain you want your safe to be created on. You then click Create New Safe. It will then ask you to name your safe, add the owner names and addresses connected to them, choose how many owners are needed to confirm transactions, and that's pretty much it. But as I stated earlier, what the Polygon bridge for Gnosis does is it allows you to take those assets that you already have stored on an Ethereum safe and bridge them over to a Polygon safe. So going back to the Polygon bridge, as you can see, I have a few different safes here, 2 on Ethereum and 1 on Polygon. So let's click into the Ethereum safe where I have 10 USDC stored. Let's also pretend that this is a much higher amount of value and I am tired of spending an arm and a leg on Ethereum gas fees. So now what I want to do is bridge my assets that I'm storing on Ethereum to Polygon, and the bridge currently supports all ERC20 tokens such as USDC. So you'll see a button here that says transfer to Polygon chain. It will then bring you to what is probably a familiar looking screen if you have used any sort of bridge before. You have the chain that your assets are coming from and the chain that you want to bridge your assets to. So let's say I want to bridge all 10 USDC to Polygon. There is a drop down here that asks you which of your Polygon safes that you want to transfer to. And by the way, your Ethereum safe and Polygon safe will be 2 different addresses. Also, within the additional settings dropdown, you can choose your nonce. Basically, your nonce allows you to put this transaction on priority. So say within your safe, you have a few different transactions pending and waiting for confirmation from the others. You can edit this to put it first in line if you need to get that specific transaction done next. So what you would want to do is input your nonce to the number directly after the last one completed. In this case, I would put number 2 to be next in line. So now that I have all this information in place, I'm going to go ahead and click transfer. A confirmation screen will pop up and show the destination address, how many signatures are required for this to go through, and the nonce. So this looks good to me. I will go ahead and sign this transaction, and now the first part of the bridging process has begun. So I have signed off on this. Now, since Gnosis Safe is a multi-sig wallet, in order to finalize this process and bridge my USDC over, I will need 2 out of the 3 owners of this safe to sign off. The setting we have chosen for this particular safe is 2 out of 3 owners to sign, but again, this part of the safe is completely up to you depending on your preference. Maybe you want 3 out of 3 signatures, or if you have 8 owners, maybe you want 5 out of those 8 owners, whatever works best for you. But now that I have signed this with one of my wallets, this transaction will show up right here on the transactions tab saying 1 more signature is required. 1 out of the 3 wallets has signed off on this, which is of course me, but now I need one of the other owner signatures for this to be executed. So I have now switched to a different wallet. Yes, all 3 of these wallets are owned by me for simplicity of this video, but I will now sign the second piece that is needed for the bridge to be executed. There is also an option to reject the transaction, so if I do not agree with what one of the owners is requesting, I can go ahead and submit a rejection that will also need to be approved by at least 2 of the owners. But now that 2 of the 3 signatures have been made, a new button below will pop up showing execute transaction, and here at the top, 0 signatures are required. By the way, the initial signatures are off-chain transactions and require no gas fees, but the final execution will be an on-chain transaction and will require a gas fee. But now let's go ahead and finalize this by executing the transaction, and any owner of the safe can execute it. Now that I have submitted the transaction, it will typically take just a few minutes for this to be processed, and my 10 USDC will then be transferred from my Ethereum safe to my Polygon safe. So what I'll do now is go ahead and switch over to my Polygon safe and wait for the assets to bridge over. Look at that, 10 USDC is now stored in my Polygon safe. Now when making transactions, I am able to save lots of money on fees using Polygon. So the process is pretty simple, and that was certainly the goal that Polygon had in mind when creating this product, keeping the process as simple as possible while keeping your assets secure. Now for whatever reason, let's say you want to bridge back to Ethereum, the process is the exact same. You would go to the bridge tab, choose from Polygon, and then select which safe you want to bridge to Ethereum and go from there. Now the last quick thing I want to touch on is if you choose to reject a transaction, as I stated earlier, you will need 2 out of the 3 owners to reject it as well. So the same way you need a specific amount of signatures to approve a transaction, the same goes for the rejection process, and the rejection will also need to be executed on-chain with a gas fee. So that is a basic overview of the Polygon bridge for Gnosis Safe. Please let me know down in the comments if you have any questions. The goal with this bridge is to keep your assets secure while saving you money on fees, and the Polygon bridge for Gnosis Safe does just that. I thank you all very much for watching. Subscribe for more videos just like this, and I will see you all next time.